This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 26 of the Wisdom by Wisa show on the Horse Radio Network. This is Mike Donnell.
I'm Casey Wilbanks-Coletti.
And this is Sophia Aguila. Welcome to the Wisdom by Wisa podcast on the Horse Radio Network.
This podcast is brought to you by the Western and English Sales Association, WISA, which provides the world's largest trade events for retailers, manufacturers, and sales representatives of the equestrian industry. In this podcast, we feature exclusive interviews with noteworthy Western and English personalities, retailers, and exhibitors who you've always wanted to talk to. Don't miss out on all the news for manufacturers and retailers in the equine industry. Hi, Sophia. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. So how did the June market go? You just wrapped up. And tell us a little bit about that wrap-up procedure.
Yeah, so right after the market ends, we always pull our stats just to see how many people or stores registered or even just made the plans to attend the trade show, but also to see how many new stores we were able to welcome to the Western Trade Show. And this time around, we moved it from September to June, and we're able to welcome 300 stores all together. And we also have many exhibitors contacting us after the trade show for media questions or anything along those lines. So we also follow up with them right after the market.
Well, great. That 300 retailers is amazing. What's next up for WISA? What's going on?
Yeah, so now that we completed everything for the June wrap-up, we're now heading right into the January trade show.
Goodness, and that's going to come so fast. I can't believe we already are talking into January, but we know time really does fly. What are the dates of the January trade show, and where can people sign up?
Yes, it's coming up quick, and we're super excited. So the January trade show will kick off on Friday, January 10th of 2020, and it will be a 4-day event, so it'll end on Monday, January 13th. And the exhibitor contract will be live on August 1st, and attendees or buyers can actually sign up already, and that's just on westtradeshow.com.
Oh my goodness, I just can't believe how close it is, but that also means winter is right around the corner, and I don't even want to think of that yet, but nonetheless, being on the inside, you have to have a little inside scoop. Do you have any tips or tricks for filling out the contract?
Yes, I actually do. So when exhibitors do fill out the contract, you can add any notes in terms of where you want to be or where you want your booth space to be. And then Kristen, our trade show manager, will take that as well as your points that you've earned for previous shows into consideration when assigning your spaces. So you can literally write her a whole page of wishes or notes, and she'll take that into consideration. And then also, if you don't want to fill out a digital contract, you can call us or email us, and we can mail you a hard copy. And our phone number again is 800-295-1041. And then lastly, also don't forget about the optional add-ons that you can choose from. We do offer website ads, mobile apps, and of course, directory ads.
Great. Well, thank you so much. It's always fun chatting with you and hearing all your special inside stories and any tips and tricks. I feel like you're always giving away essential ideas for people to use just to make their process a lot easier. So I think this is a very vital part of the podcast. And you've set up a really great show for us today, Sophia. Two really lovely young ladies. So I say we just get straight to their interview.
Redingote Equestrian was founded by two women who both love to ride horses, share a love of fashion, and were equally unhappy with the choice of bad weather clothing available to horsemen. The result was a brand new concept in equestrian outerwear and a brand new company. And those two women, Connie DeMeo and Allison Mellifont, are with us today to chat about the product and the company. Hey, Connie and Allison, welcome to Wisdom by Wisa.
Hi, guys. How are you?
For the benefit of our listeners, I met these two lovely young ladies at the show recently in Denver. Sophia had directed them and thinking this would be, and we agree, a great topic for Wisdom by Wisa, since we like to talk to small growing companies, interesting product lines. And lo and behold, here we all are.
Thanks for having us.
Connie, you're really good, and Allison, you as well, at giving us how this whole concept got started. So let's start with this very interesting name for your company. Then we'll talk a bit about the product and we'll go from there because the two are really related. But first, let's start the name and how to pronounce it for those people who haven't seen it in writing and are trying to remember it when they talk to other people.
Yes, the product and the name are very intertwined. The product, which we'll tell you more about in a few minutes, is a one-piece coverall or jumpsuit that we designed for riders and anyone in the equestrian industry. And the name came about, it's pronounced Redingote. It's spelled Redingote, and that is a French derivative of the English word riding coat, which if you actually Google Redingote, you'll see like an 18th century, very tailored, overcoat that men would wear riding horses in the 18th century. And so we found that name, and it's sort of an archaic word, but very connected to what we created. And we said, well, we're reinventing the riding coat, so this is a perfect name for our brand.
Great idea. Now, talk a little bit more about the product line.
Sure. So it's a one-piece coverall that's fully insulated with a 60-gram polyfilm. It has lots of technical features that were designed and inspired for riders. So one of my favorite features is that you can step in and out of it with your boots on. We have a zipper that goes from heel to mid-thigh, so you could just slip it right on, right over your boots, over your breeches, and have a long sleeve underneath, and it keeps you clean, warm, and dry in the winter months. It's something that I always used. I always had a one-piece coverall that I would use all winter long, and it was definitely an essential that I used every single winter. And I loved having a coverall because I would just throw it on, teach my lessons, go muck stalls, feed the horses, and it was perfect. It kept my clothes clean, warm, and dry. But there was nothing for women, and there was nothing for riders. So Allison and I put our heads together and just came up with something that was more tailored and more designed for riders and something more fitted. So it gives us more of a feminine look, and we don't look like we're going to be going under a tractor and changing oil. It just looks much, much better than what the coveralls are out there now.
Much more feminine. I want to backtrack just a little bit because I think it's really unique how your partnership came to be. Co-founders, Connie, actually, you're a lifelong equestrian and a professional rider and trainer. And then Allison, you met her by taking lessons from Connie in Brooklyn, New York. So I just thought it was an interesting story. And I kind of want to just reminisce and go back to that time period. That's how you guys met. And then eventually it evolved into creating this product.
No, it was just how it started. I mean, our husbands were friends, and we became friends through them. And Allison found out that I was a trainer at this barn in Brooklyn, and something that she always loved horses and wanted to start riding. So she actually took her first lesson with me. And that's how we started talking about Redingote and the idea of this coverall that we wanted to reinvent.
Sure. Well, and the reason that I bring this up, one, is because New York, obviously New York weather in the winter, you're going to know the necessities needed for this piece of apparel that you guys have created. And two, because you guys actually use it, you utilize it. So those are the two factors that I can see when somebody's creating a product. You two know exactly the necessities that were needed. And by me sitting here reading this, and I live in Colorado, also own cows and horses and do all the fun winter feeding and whatnot. And the coveralls that we're used to seeing are very bulky. They're very hard to maneuver in. I love to ride my horses in the winter. However, it's kind of hard because you really are, there's a lack of movement once you get these hard type of coveralls on. So I love the fact that these are beautiful, for one. The colors are nice. The material looks really, they almost look soft. Am I wrong by saying that? Just by looking, they somewhat look soft.
We tried really hard to find the right fabric that was really soft and had a lot of give, while still maintaining a very durable and waterproof quality. So they are super, super comfortable, very easy to move around in, very flexible. If you have full range of motion for everything that you need to do, whether you're, throwing tack on your horse or, mucking stalls, you can really do everything that you need to do in this fabric. And it's also really quiet. A lot of, waterproof fabrics can be really loud and swishy around the horses, and they're not always big fans of that. So we tried to make sure that we ticked every box as far as mobility, weight, functionality, and the noise factor as well.
Sure. I'm reading on your website right now, and some of the key factors of this piece, and you guys feel free to elaborate after I mention some of these. As you already said, it's waterproof, but it's also breathable, insulated from head to toe with a fitted design. And obviously the fitted design just, helps it make it look more feminine. There's a double storm flap over the zipper, not only blocks the wind and water, but is secured by magnets instead of Velcro. So you don't have to worry about it sticking to everything else that you're wearing while you're suiting up. And then there was one more thing. There's a lot of places to put things. There's a lot of pockets and interior and exterior pockets. So really unique features.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of my favorite features is we took away the Velcro, because I remember I had every piece of outerwear that I ever owned that had Velcro on it. By the end of the season, it had more fabric stuck in it, horsehair stuck in it, hay stuck in it, and I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't be able to use the Velcro anymore. So like my cuffs when I had Velcro on would always be falling off by end of season. So I'm really glad that we replaced that. And it just easily snaps right up. We did have a lot of features for riders. We put a place to hang your spurs. We have a crop pocket. As an instructor, I always kept an extra crop, and I used to put it in my boot. But when I was wearing my coverall, I had nowhere to put my crop, and I would just either throw it on under a standard or in the middle of the ring, and I would end up losing it. So we made sure to put a crop pocket in there. Again, you could step in and out of it with your boots on, which is a great feature. Like,
yes.
Another thing, like when I had a coverall on, and you can't ride in the big bulky coveralls that are out there now. This one we did design that you can ride in it. You can absolutely easily step in the stirrup and swing your leg over the saddle and go out for a nice hack or out on the trail when it's snowing. But that zipper that allows you to put your boot through your coverall leg is just an essential. You absolutely need that. It definitely makes a huge difference in any other coverall that's out there now.
Right. And it doesn't matter what part of the Western industry you're in, whether you rodeo, it doesn't matter what you do. If you're doing outdoor activities, you could just be outside feeding cows in the winter. It doesn't matter what functionality that you're performing. It really can go for anybody. I'm reading some of the testimonials on your website. And just the first one, I love it. It says, "I'm so thankful for this gorgeous and stylish onesie to keep me warm before and in between rides. Dirt and horsehair falls off with ease, and it's perfect for daily use around the barn." I just love it. It really is kind of a onesie. But as the other unique thing is this is like a full, it mentions onesie, and that's exactly, it's a full suit. It covers your arms, it covers your chest, your legs. You're completely covered.
After you're out riding and working and doing all this, how do you clean it?
So you can usually, if it gets, I treat it like any other outerwear. When it gets really, really dirty, then I throw it in the washer in the gentle cycle, and then we just let it hang dry.
Is that simple?
Yeah, nice and easy.
Easy to take care of. And to circle back quickly to your point about the versatility of it, it doesn't matter what discipline you are, but it also doesn't even, there's a lot of versatility even just in outdoor activities. Like, I wear mine in the barn, but I also wear it hiking or skiing, or, I have some friends that have gotten one because they sail. Really anywhere that you could be outside and cold and wet. It's like a really ideal garment that you could use for a lot of different things.
Well, and it's such a unique product, so much so that the retailers actually voted on your product to win an award recently. Tell us about that.
We won the most innovative product award at WISA this June, which we were very excited about, because we really put a lot of work into making sure that this is something that could really function in a really new way, and we got as creative as we could and really drilled down into the nitty gritty of like what people really need in this world, day in and day out. And so it was really special for us to be recognized in that way by fellow retailers and buyers in the industry.
Yes. I mean, besides loving the design, and I mentioned loving the colors, I love the gray mist. I'm looking at it on your website right now. But something else that just caught my mind is your size guide and your size chart. There's multiple sizes available. So it really seems like there's a wide range to really get the exact, nice, comfortable fit that you need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we go all the way from extra, extra small to extra, extra large. And the navy comes in a short inseam as well, which is really nice.
So now, since we met at WISA and you went to WISA, it's fairly obvious that you would like to have more retailers distributing your product. Chat a bit about what a retailer can look forward to when working with you in terms of bringing your product to their customers.
I think that one of the biggest offerings that we have for retailers is really that our product is new. It's not something that anyone else is offering. We don't really have, it's not like we're just a new version of something that else that's already out there. We're really something that's really brand new and really innovative, and you're probably not carrying something like us in your store. So it's a really brand new and exciting offering for your customer. And we're super easy to work with. We know that tack shops come with a lot of different, footprints and needs. And so, we have, we're not holding to a lot of big minimums or anything like that. We're super easy to work with. We recommend that you do have, one piece of each size in your store so that people can really try on and get the perfect fit. But you can work with us in a very easy and flexible way.
Yeah, we definitely want to get the product to as many people as possible, just because it's such a needed product, and it's great to go to these trade shows and to go to things like WISA and have a client or a customer step into our jumpsuit, something that we created, and you just see the difference in their face. They're like, "Oh my God, this is so great!" And that's what Alice and I love about it. Like, we get so many compliments on creating something like this. And that's one of my favorite things. I love to talk to the customers that are out there. I love to get them in the jumpsuit and just see their faces change on how excited they are and how much they need this product in their life. And especially the women, we do, a lot of us wear a coverall in the winter, and there's just nothing out there that makes us feel good when we're in a coverall. So that's one of my favorite things. I just love to talk to the customers, get them in our coverall, and get them that in their barns. So with the tack shops, we really do recommend to have, a line size, just so you could see the same thing. You could have them step into the jumpsuit, move around in it, pretend they're posting or going 2-point, or have them walk around and just see their faces light up and how much they really love the product.
Well, I think that's probably what a retailer is looking for as well. Just going back a little bit, because I think it's just fascinating how a company is created with a new product. How long did it take you from coming up with the idea of we want to do this to where you are now with what seems to be a high level of satisfaction with the product itself? And this didn't happen on the very first try, I'll bet.
No, and that's a really good question. I mean, I feel that Alice and I work really well together, and we have a really good relationship, and we communicate really well. So I feel that from the idea to the production of it, it went rather smoothly and pretty quickly, but there was a lot of prototypes that we did. We tested the product for probably about, I want to say it took us from start to product about just under 2 years. And we gave it to a few of the riders that are out there that I know personally and had them test it. I tested it personally. I still have one of our first prototypes, of the final line that I still wear. So, I mean, but there was a lot of testing. We really had to pick out the fabric was a big thing. The color was a huge thing. We had this great yellow liner on the inside, and we wanted to make sure it worked well with the navy and the gray mist together, and we didn't want anything too bright. But it took a while. I mean, we wanted to make sure that people would be happy at it in the end, and that we would be happy with it.
Well, it just sounds like a great product. I'm going to ask really maybe kind of a dumb question. Are you ever going to bring out a line of men's products?
It's funny because we actually have a few men that have the suit.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah, we have a couple a couple professional riders out there that have it, a couple of backyard riders that have it that love it, and they bought the size that they needed and they use it all the time. So we do sell it to men. It is women's sizing, but men can absolutely buy it. But yeah, I think eventually down the road we will venture into the men's department of coveralls.
Okay, just thought I would ask.
Absolutely, one day.
Well, I love the product. Every time I do one of these shows with Mike here, I feel like I get off air and I buy something, because these products are I have to have one before winter. I can tell you that. So I'm already deep into the sizing guide to find my size. But unless Mike has anything else to add, thank you guys so much for coming on today. And if there's anything else you would like to add before we let you go, please feel free.
I think that definitely check us out on the website. Our website is redingoteequestrian.com. We have a great size chart on there. It tells you a little bit about us, about the product. You could follow us on Instagram and Facebook. And our pricing is great. We have really affordable pricing, and we could take on different barns. If you have a team or you have a show barn or you have a couple of different riders, we would love to do something like that and dress the riders for you. But yeah, and we're really easy to get in touch with. You could send us an email if you have any questions. It's Allison and I that are going to answer it. So if you have any questions about the products, feel free to email us.
Okay, and tell them your website.
The website is redingoteequestrian.com.
And that's REDINGOTE equestrian.com. Check it out. I'm definitely going to get one. Mike, it sounds like Mike's waiting for your men's line, but he can go ahead and jump in and get one.
I just thought I would ask. But hey, listen, ladies, it was great meeting you in Denver. It's equally great having you on the show. We appreciate your time, and we look forward to hearing more about you and probably seeing you at the next show.
We will be there.
Absolutely.
And thank you so much. We loved meeting you. We love doing the podcast. So thank you again.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
The show notes and links from today's show are available at wisdombywisa.com. And of course, we'd love to hear your feedback. There's a contact link on that website.
The Wisdom by Wisa show will be published on the 15th and 30th of every month. You can listen on most of your favorite podcast players, and you can also listen on the Horse Radio Network app on your iOS or Android phone. You just search Horse Radio Network in the App Store. It's free, and it's super easy to use. Be sure to visit all the great shows on the Horse Radio Network at horseradionetwork.com. Thanks for listening to the Wisdom by Wisa podcast. Wisa, where the industry meets.